the best of the KQ Morning Show on 92 KQRS.
If you, like Tony Lee, woke up just hungover as hell today.
Don't you judge me.
No judgment, Tony. No judgment at all. I'm amazed you made it in.
I think he's still drunk. Yeah, clearly.
I could have been sheriff at one point. You don't know me.
He smacked me on the ass this morning.
The Foster Brooks of the KQ Morning Show.
Saltines for the house.
Saltines?
You know,
What's wrong with that?
Nothing,
by
Tony.
the way,
now he's getting angry.
You know what? The greatest really drunk line of all time is, "What's wrong with that?" That's because we've all said things like, "What's the big deal? What's wrong with that?"
What did I say? Something? Oh, okay.
It's not hurting anybody. It's a free country.
Now you're going to get mad. Okay. I'm just trying to have fun. Guess can't have fun anymore.
I love it.
No.
Avoiding hangovers is a worthy pursuit. Let's not kid ourselves. And a far more important pursuit with every passing year for all of us. A few things that I'm reading. You know, there's cures, there's fix-its, there's all sorts of things. Some of which there's old wives' tales, and then there's some things that actually apparently are true.
Yeah. Okay.
Hair of the dog.
Boom. Brian Zepp's cure.
That's it. Have another drink when you wake up. It does seem to make you feel a little better. But, Brian, here's the rub. Only for a little while.
Well, no, you just got to keep it going.
Oh, you just just get back on the horse.
Then you ease out of it. Okay, so I woke up with a hangover after the pub crawl. It was about 10:30 p.m. That night because I went home and ordered a Bonnie's cheeseburger pizza. Highly recommend it. Pounded about half of that. Fell asleep in bed with my clothes on. Woke up at 10:30 p.m. and my head was hurting. And, I cracked a beer.
Did the job?
Did the job. Got right back into a nice little buzz. But you're right. It does. I mean, I'm not going to sit around and suffer on a Sunday morning. I'm going to have a little something to drink.
I have hair of the dog for me only a couple times, but it's not to get up and start drinking again. It's wake up really hungover and not feeling good, and have another one just so I can fall back asleep.
Yeah,
that's the only time I've ever
to get to the headache. But every once in a while, you kind of get back into the groove. You're like, now I'm feeling kind of, you know what? Hey, you guys want to come pick me up? I'm going golfing or whatever. You know, maybe you're just going out, for a Sunday fun day or whatever. But yeah, hair of the dog. It does come with it. It's not a cure. You're just avoiding it. You're sidestepping the hangover.
Sports drinks. Scientists do say they don't completely understand what causes hangover, but they do know that dehydration is a big part of it.
Yeah.
And they're saying if not just water, work in a Gatorade as you're going about your night drinking. Just try to stay hydrated throughout the process.
During the night? Okay.
Yeah,
as you're still drinking. Yeah. But then obviously in the morning, Gatorade. I've had many of the, I need a gallon of Gatorade right now when I wake up situations. Yeah. And I'll go for that.
I, for a long time, when I was out hitting it pretty hard, would stop at some point in the night and say, hey, just a glass of water, please, and then just chug that bad boy.
Yeah, that does help.
2 or 3 nights out of it. But the biggest thing for me was getting rid of the pop. Getting the pop out of the drinks a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
Get that pop out of there. I'll take ice. I'll take it neat, whatever. Let's just drink it.
Yeah.
And I'll need the better stuff now, too. So it gets a little spendier. But that pop, I think I was convinced that sugary stuff was what gave me such horrendous hangovers.
I'll go with that. All right. I'm just gonna say, yeah, Dr. Zepp, you're onto something there. My wife will tell you, make no mistake about it, a quarter pounder with cheese and French fries is the best thing for a hangover.
Yeah.
As many people do. A lot of people swear by the greasy breakfast. Science says no. We have no reason. We can't prove it's helpful. They suggest actually things that are easier to digest, like toast or cereal. The calories get into your system faster. There's an author who wrote a book called The Doctor's Hangover Book, and he says there's no specific food that actually can cure, but a lot of people have good results with honey. Honey for a hangover. The worst hangover of my life, oddly enough, happened when I was 22 years old, very young. But I will never forget this, and it was the first time and last time I ever drank Jägermeister. And I drank so much of it because I can't believe how good this is. There was a case of Beck's beer, and there was a bottle of Jägermeister, and maybe even more. And by the end of it, it was so weird. I had a delayed reaction hangover. Like, I woke up the next morning early and felt okay, not great.
Still a little drunk, maybe.
Probably. Got back to sleep, and when I woke up for the second time, I then had no exaggeration, 2 full day hangover. 2 full days. All I was eating was saltine crackers.
Funny.
I just had saltine after saltine after saltine.
Every time I've had Jägermeister has been the last time I will ever drink Jäger. Yeah, one of my buddies, Good Time Johnny over there in St. Paul, got a Yag machine, bought it at a rummage sale or a bar's rummage sale, one of the Yag machines.
Oh my God.
It was a bad thing. It's what I imagine that, the bar rag, if you just wringed it into a glass, that's what I imagine it would. It's wow. And Fireball. Everybody's all excited about Fireball. That just gives me a hangover thinking about it.
I've stuck to that. I've never had Jägermeister since. I've had Jägermeister on one occasion in my entire life.
That was it.
If I smell it, it's just like, nah. It doesn't make me sick, but it certainly still triggers the memory. I could never possibly forget that.
Yeah, I can't.
Have you ever gotten up and felt really hungover and just said, screw it, and you just jump out and go for a run or get on the bike, go for a hardcore workout?
All right. Yeah. I love, actually, skiing. Everybody knows I like to ski a lot, and I go on the ski trips with the buddies, and we party hardy, and I get up in the morning, and then no one wants to go skiing except me, man. You get me out in that cold air and then work in the lungs and get the heart beating. That works. I wish I could still do that, but I don't get, quite as hung as I used to.
I can see it. That kind of checks out to me. 651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talk and text line. We have a caller, Tony?
Our buddy David from Rosemont claims to have the best hangover cure.
Ooh.
David from Rosemont, help us all. What do you got?
All right. So when you're down and drinking and you are just hammered off your tuchus, in the morning you got to get up to use the bathroom anyway. So you take 4 Excedrin and drink yourself a bottle of water and go back to bed. Hangover gone.
All right.
4 Excedrin, bottle of water. That's pretty simple.
It's
got to be Excedrin.
Hangover in my life.
All right.
I thought you were going to say something like hang your head over the side of the bed, swallow the pills, and drink the water with your head upside down.
I got a question for Zepp.
Yes, sir.
Uh-oh.
Dave, what's up?
Have you tried?
No, I will not make out with you. What? I'm sorry.
Have you tried the pizza on the grill yet?
Oh, no, Dave. I have not tried the dang pizza on the grill yet. In fact, I did kind of space it, but guess what? I'm going to the pizza on the grill. So you had called in with that, right? And it's just take the frozen pizza, don't thaw it or do thaw it.
Do not thaw it. You don't need to thaw it. Just put it on there, close the grill at about 350. You want to put a little bit more cheese on it. We actually cooked mozzarella sticks on there, too.
All right, I'm doing that today. I'm actually going to do that today. So just any old frozen pizza gets the job done?
Any pizza you want to put on there.
And just add a little extra matzah and maybe whatever else I want on there. Okay, Dave, thanks. That's my Tuesday plan.
Talk to you later.
Thanks, bud.
Thank you, brother.
They said we did something a couple of years ago that if you drank pear juice. Now, this was a PhD.
Pear juice?
That if you drank pear juice before you went out drinking.
Okay.
A full glass, I forget how many ounces, let's say 8 ounces of pear
Only
juice.
cost $71.
Probably. I don't even know. I was like, I remember at the time thinking, where the hell do you get pear juice? Do they sell that? Well, they do, I guess. If you drink pear juice before you go out for the night drinking, you will not be hungover. But I never got around to, much like Dave's grilling the pizza idea, which I am going to get to. I never got to the pear juice. I wonder if anyone knows of the pear juice thing before you go drinking, prevents hangovers. 651-989-ROCK. We'd love to hear from you.
Fair enough. We are hearing from someone else. Who we got, Tony?
Here's Boris's cure.
Boris, what do you got for us, brother?
Hey, man. Good morning, guys. Kind of keep it down here. I'm a little hungover. No, just kidding. Hey, I've always thought that if you have some really good watermelon or some really good juicy fruit, like sweet, it's got to be good, though. It can't be that chewy stuff. It's got to be nice and in season.
Right.
And but some of the girls I've known that wake up hungover, I mean, they're the worst anyway, but popsicles always seem to help them.
Popsicles?
Anyway, I'll hang up that guy 6.
Yeah, you got it, Boris.
Yeah. A popsicle or a really good juicy fruit in season. Or not nothing chewy. None of the, what's a chewy fruit?
I don't know.
But I get what he's saying. Watermelon, it's high in water content, so you're getting the water back into your system. That's why that works. and you can consume a lot of it. That's not bad. I might keep some watermelon in the fridge for the next hangover.
One of the things they suggest not drinking is coffee because caffeine restricts your blood vessels, ups your blood pressure, and that can make you feel worse. However, if you are already a regular coffee drinker, well, then you have to drink it because caffeine withdrawal just makes everything worse. Caffeine withdrawal is a very real thing. Do you enough of a coffee drinker where if you don't have it one day, you get that headache?
Oh yeah,
that
caffeine headache.
Yep. That caffeine headache
Piercing.
is worse than any hangover headache I've ever had.
Piercing.
Man.
And then I can't drink caffeine and get rid of it.
No.
Yeah,
Once it starts, it doesn't work at all. There's no getting rid of it. It's just an absolute. It's a screaming advertisement that says "Stop drinking coffee," is what it is. Tony, who else we got on the phone?
Andy has another take.
Andy, good morning. Andy.
Hey.
What's up, brother? What do you got for us?
Well, listen, man, I go to Canada every year, and one year my nutritionist sister-in-law sent up activated charcoal tablets with us, and we drank every night, partied hard, and didn't wake up with one hangover.
Really? I mean, do you still do that? I mean, is that a real thing?
Oh, yeah.
Or do you have to be in Canada?
Or any sort of natural grocery store has activated charcoal tablets or capsules.
Okay.
They're amazing.
All right. Okay.
Take 2 before you go to bed.
Okay. Activated charcoal tablets.
Man, first I've ever heard of it. That's pretty good. I know that when Chauncey Gorman overdosed on his sister dog Zelda's pain pills, true story, he tried to off himself by wolfing down 60 pills. Giving us all a heart attack. They fed him charcoal, like to flush the system. I was like, they were just shoving it down his throat like there was no tomorrow.
I didn't know there was a charcoal pill, but I'm putting it on my shopping list.
Hey, if it was good enough for Chauncey and his kidneys, it's probably good enough for you and your Coors Light headache. On the KQ Talking text line 651-989-ROCK, a lot of suggestions. Pedialyte is one. That's a
no. Okay, that makes me angry. Pedialyte makes me angry. Sorry, have you guys tried Pedialyte?
No, I've never tried
It's the worst. Try it today.
Is it like the sugar-free vitamin water?
God.
Just makes you want to throw up as soon as you taste it?
It is. It tastes like it's already been drank once.
Ooh. Well, it's for kids.
Exactly. Why would you do that to your kid? But whatever, because I guess they can't protest because they're too young. And my mom gave me some nasty-ass cough syrup or something, I remember.
It must have some validity to it. We're like on campus. So if you go to any convenience store on campus Monday morning, the Pedialyte shelves are cleared. There's just a big empty spot where the Pedialyte is supposed to go.
Now I wonder if I'm thinking of the right stuff. I remember, I had something, what it was. I don't know if you have to get... What it was, I had to go in for something medical, and they're like, flush your light, drink this stuff. I think it was Pedialyte, and it was just the nastiest stuff.
I've never sipped it. I've seen that, but that's funny that the shelves are clear every Monday on campus. That's pretty fantastic.
Well,
I'm looking up activated charcoal right here.
Yeah.
A fine odorless black powder often used in emergency rooms to treat overdoses.
Oh.
Wow! But you can get
over the counter.
Yeah, you can get it over the counter in tablet form. So here's what it says. It does. Hang on. It reduces absorption of substances in the stomach and intestines. So, that makes sense.
All right.
All right, fair enough. Tony, who else we got on the horn?
A couple good routes to take. First, Fred from South Dakota, and then Cassandra from Chanhassen.
Fred, lay it on us, brother.
Yeah, real quick. It's a V8, a shot of vodka, and the coldest 6-ounce beer you could find with ELO and a little toke. You'll be fine.
South Dakota showed up this morning. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Where are you from, man?
I'm originally from Brooklyn, but I'm hanging out in South Dakota listening to you guys. You guys crack me up. You guys are awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We were talking about how to cure a hangover, and I think you just told us how to get one.
Right.
Yeah. No, it's, brother, preach it from the mountaintops, and I can only assume that your car broke down in South Dakota, and you're trying to work your way out of there, but good for you, my man. That's where I'm from.
Just having a ball. It's nice out here. Just drinking and having a ball.
Yeah.
Life is good.
Right on.
A little ELO, don't
Have a
forget
beautiful day, cats.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother.
He does not sound like he's from South Dakota.
A lot of texts saying activated charcoal is the way to go.
Right.
Wally wrote, activated charcoal is a miracle. They work awesome for an upset stomach, but this is an item where you get what you pay for. Spend a little more. Don't buy the cheap stuff. Then it says, don't take it within an hour of taking other meds because it legitimately will flush everything out.
Weird.
So if you're taking other medicine, it'll deactivate. It'll flush it out before
Unless
you have
it's
a chance
time to flush everything out.
All right,
Okay,
Dr.
gotcha.
Wally has weighed in. Who else did you say is on the horn?
Cassandra.
Cassandra, good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys?
We're great. What do you got for us?
Well, to cure a hangover, you got to have a hot bowl of Mexican soup, menudo. It's made with beef tripe, hominy. You do it with corn tortillas, onion, cilantro. It's got an authentic chili powder in it, and then a shot of tequila, and you're ready to go.
Muy bien.
Cassandra, I'll just give you a blank check if you bring some over right now. That sounded amazing.
Yeah.
It is awesome. Oh, my gosh. I grew up on it. I guess a lot of Hispanic people have grown up on it. Some people don't find it the best, but we absolutely love it. And for a hangover, that's the best cure.
Wow, fair enough. Cassandra, thank you for that. Now I'm hungrier than I already was. That sounds great.
If I wasn't in Minnesota, I definitely would bring you some.
All right. Fair enough. This text just in, Pedialyte is good, but breast milk is better. Okay, good to know.
Okay.
Good to know.
If I just had someone on the hook with a boob full,
a question
next time
for
I'm
you.
hungover.
A question for you, Zepp, on the text line. Zepp, how many times have you or your Army buddy shown up hungover for PT formation and had a medic give you an IV?
No, I did not. But I did do the IV treatment one time. We were in Vegas, and there was a place down in the hotel lobby where we were staying. I forget which hotel we were at that year, but they had the hangover cure thing downstairs. You'd go down and you'd get hooked up. I don't know if it helped or not because I actually started drinking again while the needle was in my arm. And I'm pretty sure I was drunk when I went down to do this with Terry Tran. But anyway, I had never had a medic that was that kind to me. I did wake up in formation one day in my cot. They carried it outside and I woke up out there, and that was embarrassing. And but no, that's a good one. Yeah, no, I didn't have the hookup back then. That's a good one. I like it.
This in on the text line. Stick your head under the faucet and drink until you can't swallow anymore.
What
Go
the
to bed.
hell? That's called waterboarding.
Get up to pee and then repeat drinking water until you can't swallow. You will not have a hangover in the morning because you'll be dead.
Yes.
So you have to get up to pee.
You drowned yourself in the sink.
Ooh, man. I have a friend who would open a can of peas and drink the juice. Worked every time for her. Ugh.
Pea juice.
Pea juice. What?
Man,
Worth a try, I guess.
Let's see. What do we got? Hangover cure. Hangover cure. Just got back from Las Vegas. Denny's on Fremont Street. 2 Bloody Marys with your breakfast. You're good to go. Then start over again. Yeah, everyone.
Done.
There's a whole lot of how do we get back on the horse into a lot of these.
No, Fred got it. Was that Fred in South Dakota by way of Brooklyn? Was that his name? I forget. Yeah, I like that. A toke, shot, and some ELO, and you're on your way.
Yeah.
Someone said, wrong, guys. I got a Pedialyte at Target last night. Blue raspberry. Tell Zepp it's good. Does the trick. There was a full supply at Target last night.
Okay. All right.
Someone said...
I'm going with the charcoal tabs.
Someone said, Zepp, you're talking about Go Lightly, not Pedialyte.
Oh,
Go Lightly is what you have before a colonoscopy.
Yeah, that was it. That was the medical procedure.
Yeah, that's foul tasting.
Yeah, that's nasty. All right, well, Go Light, Pedialyte.
But the good thing about the Go Light is they only ask you to drink a gallon.
Yeah, right. Over. Yeah. That's right. That's what it was. Thanks for the heads up. All right. I went hard on Pedialyte. Sorry about that, Pedialyte.
That's all right. Yeah, I was surprised. Not that I had not that I'm connected to Pedialyte in any way, but I just thought I would have heard that it's awful before.
And
it's kind of like Gatorade for kids.
But I did say I mentioned this vitamin water. Remember when that hit the scene the first time? There was there's the dragon berry or dragon fruit and different flavors, and it was so good. And one day someone handed me one, and it said sugar free. And if you ever want to know how much sugar is in vitamin water, drink the sugar-free.
Yeah,
because I almost threw up. One sip, I was like, "What is this?" this? I mean, I look at the vitamin water. I was like, 9,000 calories. Okay, good. So this really isn't good for me.
Yeah, that's 35 grams of sugar. It's huge.
It was crazy amounts of sugar. I was like, well, that explains why I love this so much.
Right. I recently got my favorite chips, my favorite kettle-cooked chips, salt-free. I'm like, all right, we're going to watch the sodium, I'm told. I read that somewhere. Heard that on the KQ Morning Show. I've got to watch my sodium intake. And I ate about 3 chips and went, the salt. Yeah. That's why I eat them.
I for the first time ever, my yearly checkup this year, the guy said, what's your sodium levels? Just like, what happened? Like, it's never been high. And all of a sudden it was really high. And I was like, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just... because I'm not eating any more. So I don't have a sweet tooth. I have a salt tooth.
Yeah.
You know, like when I finish a big meal, I'm like, you know what would top this off perfectly? Just some potato chips. maybe a couple of Fritos. It's like I'm just always looking for salt. It's ridiculous.
Aperitif.
Yeah, like I used to say dessert for me was always just more of the main.
Yeah, right. Just about thirds.
Who's ready for pie? I'd actually just have more chili. That was always me. And at some point, man, it's just too much salt. Apparently, here's a hangover cure on the text line: can of Coca-Cola and saltine crackers. Been there, done that, and saltines are an absolute staple of my hangover cure.
I just always.
Yeah, that's what I imagine them doing that. I pretend they are. I think I convince myself it is working. You know, like this is helping because
I'll do
of
the mind.
I'll do a whole sleeve of saltines.
Nabisco's sponge.
I'll just sit there. I'll sit there and I'll watch. I'll put on like some, Suits. Just one of those dumb shows where you're like, I don't care what happens, but I'll just watch people talk about anything, but they're doing something and they seem to think it matters and I'm not going to remember, but I'm just going to slowly and I eat saltines like I've just nibbled, so it's just constant source, just not big bites, just little pieces, and it just goes, just one after the other.
You're so noisy. I don't know. Yeah, I think that would bother me watching you do that.
It would bother me having you watch me do that. This is called me time.
Okay.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. The best of the KQ Morning Show on 92 KQRS.
McDonald's has been experimenting with an AI drive-through ordering system for the past few years, and they've pretty much decided we got to put this bad boy up on blocks. It's just not happening. They're saying it's still. So think about all the things that AI does. AI can make Elvis Presley sing "Baby's Got Back," right? Mm-hmm. AI can put any voice into any context. AI can write a term paper. AI is clearly struggling to get an order right where French fries are involved at McDonald's. I mean, it's just a little tough. A lot of TikTokers are documenting issues. A gentleman received an ice cream cone with bacon added.
Okay, and what's the problem?
I'm not really sure. But what they're saying is all of our AI systems are going to be turned off. We got to go back to the drawing board here. We got to keep testing. I went through a McDonald's drive-thru. It's been, I don't know, sometime in the last couple of years. I was with my son, and we were just going, and we're like, let's grab a quick cheeseburger or something. We were on our way somewhere else and just needed a quick hit.
Yeah.
And when I pulled up, and I just remembered the guy said, will you be ordering using the app? And I said, I'm here.
Yeah, that happens every time now.
And I said that, and of course my son looked at me like, you idiot. They always say that. Like, if you order through the app, you get a discount. But I was like, well, I would have ordered through the app if I was going to order through the app.
Now they have an app line. I know Chick-fil-A has an app line, and that's the people always flying through while I'm in the 3-block line. And I'm like, I just use the app. But that bothers me a little bit because I'm actually sitting there at the squawk box when you ask me that. I'm like, well, my answer is always like, next time, can we just do this, you and me? Here we're talking. Let's make McDonald's love together.
I was.
I mean, what is it?
Should I come online?
Well, I mean, do I just sit there and go, excuse me? And then it's awkward, like I'm apping while they're sitting there. And I'm like, okay, I'm ordering on the app right now. Or can I just tell you what I freaking want?
I heard a podcast not that long ago. Who's the writer, the New Yorker guy, Malcolm Gladwell, who's written the book Blink and the 10,000 Hours guy, Malcolm Gladwell. Yeah, he has a podcast called Revisionist History, and one entire episode was about McDonald's French fries and how And I guess the 80s, when fat-free was a brief craze, everything had to be fat-free. And then everybody realized, actually, fat's kind of important. We need to have fat in our diet.
Flavor?
Yeah. But McDonald's made this big switch, and he told the story of the guy who was, like, largely responsible, played a huge part in the fat-free craze, and got McDonald's. He campaigned. This one guy was like insistent at McDonald's, like, you've got to change the way you make your fries.
Stop it.
You're frying them in like beef fat products, and you got to get rid of all that. And this guy made it happen. And McDonald's changed their fry recipe at some point, and they recognized these don't taste nearly as good.
Right.
So we'll just make the portions bigger.
Okay.
And people were like, oh, that's cool.
All right.
And so the whole point is, well, do you want flavor or do you want more of it? And
so where supersize came from?
And basically, and it was all because they were like, people were like, these French fries suck now. They used to be the best. And McDonald's like, well, then just have more for the same amount of money. And they never switched back, even though beef tallow, that was the word they were throwing around.
That's beef fat, yeah.
And Gladwell went to a place like a McDonald's, like a place in New Jersey where they test all the food and they have all the stuff. And he got them to make old school French fries, which no one's tasted since like 1980 something. And on the podcast, he's like, there's a McDonald's technician / chef / scientist, and they make old school McDonald fries for him. And he's eating them and he's like, it's like he's having an orgasm, but he's like, you cannot imagine how good this is. And he's got a young producer with him who's like in her 20s, so she's never had one. And she's literally like, this is the best thing I've ever eaten in my life. And he's like, why won't you guys go back and just make a smaller order, but make them better again? It was fascinating, but it reminded me the days when Wendy's first hit town, when I was a kid, we were like, Wendy's, that burger's better than a Big Mac or a Quarter Pounder, but McDonald's was all about the fries. And we used to go you'd get your burger at Wendy's, and then you'd get your fries at McDonald's, then you'd have your dinner.
Multiples.
We would, because they both had drive-thrus. Yeah. But McDonald's used to be the fries, man. They had the fries.
Now I'm really craving some old McDonald's fries. I mean, I will pay $1,000 if Steve will give me $1,000 if someone can get me some old school McDonald's fries.
There's a spot in New Jersey that'll hook you up, apparently.
All right. Well, damn it.
The best of the KQ Morning Show on 92 KQRS.
Rudy Pavich is in studio with us, and you are here because you got something cool going on this week. The second annual Loons on the Lake Comedy Festival, Wednesday through Saturday at Crooners in Fridley. Rudy is going to MC Thursday night. You're going to open Friday night for the headliner Quinn Dale. And this is the second year they've done this. And here's something kind of cool. One comedian, somebody trying to break in on the way up, is going to win $10,000. Wow. Is that correct?
There you go.
$10,000. When they first put this thing out last year, everybody in the Minneapolis scene was going, "What? There's a chance that's more than what we make in a whole year. You can win that in a weekend? That's ridiculous. $10,000. It's one of the only competitions in the country that gives out $10,000. And last year, no joke, the guy who won it got on stage. They handed him one of them big checks you were talking about. It was $10,000, and he walked out of there with $10,000 in his pocket.
Right. So, straight to a Fleabag hotel with as much cocaine as he could buy on the way.
Were you involved last year?
Yeah. So last year they had contacted us and said, "Hey, we're looking for some people to help host." And I said, "Absolutely." And I didn't know anything about it. And then I got to Crooners. That's where the event is held at. Crooners in Fridley. What an amazing showroom, by the way.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't been, I mean, even just go see a show there. It's one of the best jazz venues in the country. So the fact that they're kind of moving to a little bit of a realm of comedy is so cool. But yeah, I did it last year and just kind of helped out. And this year they said, "Hey, if you want to host a couple of shows and then open for Quinn," because I opened for Jamie Kennedy last year. Who's coming back for this year as well? So
how come you're not in on the competition, brother? For $10,000, do you have to be Do you have to be an amateur?
Well, as Steve has pointed out, since I got a Bentley, I feel like I should let the
spread the wealth.
Let the kids who are a little further down the ladder from me
give them a shot. So who are we talking about as contestants here? I mean, how did they make the cut?
A lot of it is through submission. There's a lot of really good local comics that are going to be a part of it. Chris Maddock, who's been on this show before. Let's see, Maggie Ferris. Also a good friend of Minneapolis Radio, So they also fly in a lot of people from Detroit. You might see somebody, I think the guy who won it last year was from Cincinnati. There's people from all over, but there's definitely a good handful of Minnesota comics that'll be here. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Rudy, you were with us. You filled in for Zepp for a week last year. That's October?
Yeah.
So it's been a minute since we've seen you, but I follow you, and you've been on the bounce a good bit, man. You're traveling a ton.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I just got back from Hartford, Connecticut yesterday. I was at the Funny Bone with Michael Yo from America's Got Talent.
Oh, cool.
And doing dates right now. I'm out with Adam Carolla. I've been working with Adam for probably the last 3 years. Just begun on the road with Jonathan Kite from Two Broke Girls. I don't know if you guys know. You guys ever watch the show Two Broke Girls CBS?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
sure.
Jonathan played the Russian chef.
Funny.
Yeah, he's one of my best friends, and so we go on the road together a lot. And then just found out that I'll be going to London in October. I'm doing 2 weeks.
Hell yeah!
Seriously,
doing 2 weeks in London, and then right after that, I'll be in Vegas at Brad Garrett's doing an entire week, which is like such a dangerous thing for a guy who's like, basically my daughter is up and gone now. She's on her own. She's 16. She's driving. She could stay home by herself. A whole week in Vegas at the MGM Grand.
Oh, man.
And everything's free. It's all comp. The room, the food you wanted. I'm like, this is dangerous.
You on fire, boy.
Yeah. So, it's cool. And then coming up September 13th and 14th, Comedy Corner Underground, I'm recording my first album. So,
Rudy,
nice.
that's great.
Yeah, tickets are on sale right now. You can just go to my website, rudypavichcomedy.com. Show will be, there's one show Friday, one show Saturday. We'll add the second show as soon as the first two sell out. But even if my people don't come through, those shows sell out regardless every time. So if you get a chance, pick them up now. So,
man, that's
Congratulations.
That's a lot going on. That sounds fantastic. So let's go back to London. What's that all about?
Well, I go on the road with a comedian from Toronto, a guy named Trix. 2 X's on the end, Trixx. He won the World Series of Comedy. He's a Vegas comic, good friend of mine. And he had just hit me up and said, hey, man, there's an opportunity for us to go to London. Are you in? I said, yeah, let's make it happen. So October, I believe it's like this first week of October, we fly in on a Friday, and then you do 4 shows in London, and then they send you all over England for like the entire week. Or like about an entire 9 days, and then your final weekend you go back to London and finish out the run at Top Secret Comedy Club, and then you get on a plane and come home.
Yeah, have you had any contact? I assume you haven't performed in London before or in England before?
I haven't been to London, California,
right?
Let
Exactly.
alone, the actual London. Yeah.
Right.
I know a guy named Ben, but I've never seen Big Ben. No.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's that English sense of humor. I mean, do you worry about it translating? You're going to get over there with a Minnesota act. Do you think you got to change it up a little bit, or is it? I mean, these people watch soccer. They riot. They kill each other every day. It's bloody mess. No, I'm just kidding about that. But I mean, do you worry about it translating?
Rudy.
Absolutely. Yeah. In fact, I was with Brian Regan. Not to name drop, but I was with Brian Regan in Vegas a couple of weeks ago, and he was saying that his first time in Europe, he went over there, and his first show, he was like, I usually crush every time on stage.
Yeah.
Why is nobody laughing? And then you realize, well, none of this translates. Like, nobody understands what I'm talking about. When I say apartment, I need to say flat. When I'm talking about certain things, I need to make sure I'm using the right. So there's a lot of that. Yeah. So I really got to go through all the material and make sure that it's suited. And luckily, I'm a 42-year-old dad. My stuff is relatable.
That's relatable,
So I'm not like one of these guys that goes up there. I'm not like, let me tell you why I'm non-binary. Like, that does not exist in my act. So, yeah.
Rudy Pavich is with us in studio on the KQ Morning Show. Oh, and you mentioned you do a lot of stuff, and you've worked with Adam Carolla for years.
Yeah.
I was in Nashville back where the land from which I come last year for a weekend, and it was the weirdest. I walk into a coffee shop in my neighborhood, and there's Adam Carolla standing there. I was like, hey, man, what's up? And I thought maybe you were with him because there was a thought that you were going to be down in Nashville with him. But I said, oh, hey, I'm buddies of Ruby. We had a nice talk, and he made fun of you to me. So of course, I would pass that back to you.
Yeah.
But I just remembered that. It was just like, oh, wait, I ran into that guy.
Yeah, he mentioned it. And it's amazing because I think he kind of gets labeled as this right-wing conservative Fox News kind of guy. And then you hang out with him, and he's just the most affable, low-key. He's a carpenter at heart. I mean, he swung a hammer for 20 years. Man. Yeah. So, when we go on the road together, we stay at Airbnbs together, which is so weird because he was like my radio idol growing up. And and it's funny because he really is that guy who came from like the 70s and he's so, I guess, open. Like, there was just a different mindset with, like, your friends and your buddies. And we went to a spa one day. He likes to pamper himself. Every now and again, he'll go out and pamper himself. We went to a spa, and we were, like, in the sauna. And he goes, why does everybody have shorts on in here? He's like, why does everybody, it's like almost guys are just, like, afraid. But he's just, like, banner waving in the air, just towel off, like, doesn't care. And I'm like, how many people get to see their idol naked? Not many. Like, I'm telling you. So, yeah, it's been a trip, man. If you would have told me, 3 years ago that I'd be on the road with him, I would have said there's no
Are you
way.
even more impressed with him now after seeing him naked?
I mean, well, it depends on who you're comparing him to, because I'm telling you, yeah.
You know what? I didn't see him naked, but I did see him in a towel in a sauna. That would be my greatest weird, you got to be kidding me, in a hotel steam room, actually, not the dry sauna. Peter Falk walked in.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
I was like, oh, hey, man.
That was an awkward time, but you're like, Peter Falk.
I did. Yeah. No, I said I'd be remiss if I didn't take this really awkward moment to tell you how much I love the in-laws. Yeah. And he goes, what a script.
And then he snapped you with his towel.
He did not. I wish he had, man. I
sat down, put his hand on your knee.
I would, if he had snapped me, if he had given me a welt on my ass, I would have turned it into a tattoo.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I'd have that red welt forever. So Rudy Pavich is with us in studio. So again, this weekend, the second annual Loons on the Lake Comedy Festival up at Crooners and Fridley. So you're emceeing Thursday night. You're opening on Friday. Emceeing is do you enjoy doing that? I mean, I know you're going to say yeah, but what is it about emceeing that's different from? It's not the same thing as doing your own set as an opener, but you still got to have fun with it.
Yeah, I would much rather, when I'm on the road, if I have to slide into like either a host or feature spot, first or second, I would much rather host. Mm-hmm. Because host, you go up, you're much more loose. As a feature, like this weekend when I was with Michael Yo, I featured all weekend, so I'm doing 20 in the middle spot.
Right.
And as a feature, don't do crowd work. You're not there it's not your show.
Yeah.
You basically go up, you do your time, you make sure the crowd is nice and warm for the headliner. But as the host, you can kind of play a little bit. It's your job to get everybody up and at 'em. And I definitely go into a host set a little bit different than I do a feature set. Feature set, I know my voice. Host set, you keep it a little bit cleaner than you normally would. You're not going to be out there, dropping potty mouths and you don't want to be that guy. You want to make sure everybody is in a good mood, and that's what I love about this is. And a lot of times, the only thing you have to go up and you have to remember credits. Hey, you've seen this guy on this such and such, and you saw him on ESPN, whatever. But for this, they are like, you say the name, you bring the person up. As soon as they're done, you clap. You say the next person's name. It's just like
easy peasy.
Yeah, because they don't. You can't be biased. Like even when my friends who are getting up on stage, I can't be like, this next guy's an absolute killer. No, you have to just say their name and bring them up. So yeah,
it's funny you say that about the difference depending on where you are on the bill and what your role is. It's you said like if you're the feature guy, like don't do crowd work. I mean, I've been to you go see a band at a club and the opening band, the guy's just telling long stories, and you're like, dude, like just play the songs, get out of the way. Right. What's going on with you?
Yeah, Steve, I don't know if this ever happened to you. This happened to me once, and Michael Yo and I talked about it this weekend. I had a comic, and trust me, I'm not like patting my own back, but it was only happened to me once where I went out on a weekend and did theaters in Chicago with somebody, and I was dropping them off at the airport, and when I dropped them off, they said, "Hey, great job. Next time, please don't be that funny."
Nice.
You can't go up there and just just rip for 15 minutes and then I have to go up and follow that. You're more than welcome to come on the road, but you got to tone it down a little bit. And as a comic or like a musician, you're always waiting for that bigger person to come up and go, you can't come and open for me anymore because you're just too good. Wow. I don't know if you've ever had that, Steve, but I've heard stories about some guys going on the road with Bon Jovi and they've done 6 shows and then all of a sudden they go to their trailer and the bus driver's like, we're not going to Cincinnati, boys. We're going home. They told us that we are too good. We're blowing them off the stage.
Well, the most legendary is Van Halen. Everybody that took them, everybody in 1978 was like, oh my God, we got to get this band to open for us. And a weekend they'd be like, what the hell were we thinking? It's like, imagine Van Halen at day one. Like, they're already that great, but now they have to prove it every night.
Yeah.
And you got, like, drugged out, old, tired, bloated Black Sabbath going, oh, my God. And then they went out with Journey, I think, on their second record. And the greatest ever, they played at the Rose Bowl opening for Journey. And the guys from Van Halen, they parachuted into the stadium.
Wow.
And it actually wasn't them, but they had 4 guys that were all in the jumpsuits with the wigs, and they came circling over, and the whole place is going berserk. All 4 parachutists landed in the backstage area, and then the 4 members of Van Halen in the exact same jumpsuits. It looked to the crowd of stoners, it looked like and so then they run on stage and like, let's go, you know, and the guys in Journey were like, what the hell is this? So what I'd like to say, Rudy, you just parachuted into Chicago this weekend. Well done.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, you hear these stories all the time, and you go, that's folklore. That would never happen. And then it happens to you, and you go, oh, yeah,
that's awesome.
You're totally right. Yeah. So,
no, that's really cool, man. That is. I mean, that's honestly, that's like, hell yeah, man. Like, someone looks at you and goes, dude, too much. You're too funny.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, because I've heard stories about that. Like, you know, the comedian Bobby Lee is famous about telling another famous comedian who's now famous, who's like, hey, tonight's your last show. I can't follow that anymore. Like, you're done. It's been a good run. We were together for 6 months, but and that's really what you want as an artist. You want to be able to grow, and you want to get recognized for it. So, you know, when you have the opportunity to be in front of people, and I've told a lot of people, like, hey, just make it happen when it needs to happen. Like, be funny when you have to be funny. It's okay to go out and suck. That's why there's open mics on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's when you need to go work out all your garbage material. But when you go to a club and you are that feature or you are that host, don't try new material. We had a host this weekend. He was a really nice guy. But Michael Yost's crowd is very family-oriented. He's very, like, Midwestern, you know, soccer moms love him. This dude got up there and was, like, telling Hamas jokes. We're like, what are you doing, bro? Like, these people nobody wants to hear. These are, like, middle-aged people who just want to go out and have a Mick Ultra, and they got to get up tomorrow because they got to take their their kid didn't take the $20,000 to not play hockey. They got to take him to the game.
That's awesome. RudyPavichComedy.com is the website for Rudy. LoonsOnTheLake.com. That's this weekend, June 5th to the 8th. You can see Rudy emceeing Thursday, opening on Friday. Brother, it's always a pleasure to see you.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. The best of the KQ Morning Show on 92 KQRS.
But I mean, I saw a video last week, and it was taken at a zoo, and they set up a thing where they had like 4 incredibly large muscle-bound men with doing a tug of war with a rope, that on the other end of the rope went through a glass wall, and on the other side of that rope was one female lion, and they were pulling as hard as they were straining every bit of their incredible strength, and this lion was barely flinching and just keeping them in place. They could not tug of war one lion. And a mountain lion, or a puma. Let's just call it a puma. It's fun to say puma. They're not playing games. They get right in. They get you by the neck and you're toast, right? There's no fighting off a mountain lion.
No, there was a story years ago out in Washington. A mountain biker was attacked by a mountain lion, and he ended up choking it out and killing it with the old.
Oh, that's right.
The old leg grip. You know, I mean, they got it in the leg.
Oh my God!
But it turns out it was a very small, emaciated, sick mountain lion.
Yeah,
it's the only reason he got away with that one. Even he admitted it.
Not only do you need the sick, emaciated mountain lion, you have to know how to do the leg lock. Like, that's not a guy who just watched wrestling as a kid and figured out maybe it'll work. He's done that before, I bet you anything.
That tug-of-war mountain lion, was it in its paws or in its mouth? That it was
in its mouth. No, just in its mouth. It was just in its mouth. Like, whatever. What are you guys doing?
Anyone that's ever tried to throw a cute little calf knows just exactly how strong animals are. That's animals. So there's old man strength, and then there's wild animal strength. That's a whole different level.
I'll say this right now. I'm confident I can take down, if need be in a pinch, if my family's threatened, an adult raccoon?
No, you can't. No,
really?
You
no?
Absolutely.
I can't take down Rocky Raccoon?
We used to go clubbing raccoons at night. You can do that legally in South Dakota. You spotlight them, and then they're caught in the light, and then you smack them with an axe handle or a bat or something like that. Because you get $40 for each coon that you kill.
Nice.
And that was good money when I was a kid.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, so anyway, my brother with like big welding gloves on tried to catch one that he cornered, a small raccoon. I would say it was, somewhere between just a baby raccoon and an adult raccoon. The strength that they possess in those little bodies, he couldn't even hold on to it for a second. No.
Yeah, but if it's life and death, if it's coming at me with intent to kill,
yes.
I'm still I believe what you say. I don't doubt it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what. There's not a possum alive I can't kill if need be. I will step down to the possum level or an opossum if you prefer.
All right.
I will take that bastard down.
All right, I'm going to go down to a hedgehog for myself.
Yeah, they're slow, kind of chunky around the edges there.
You have to go down to like an otter or a squirrel.
Hey, dude,
Turtle.
don't mess with an otter, dude. Trust me.
Much bigger than you think.
Yeah, they're nasty.
Yeah,
they you know what their real super strength is? You think they're cute and cuddly, and so no matter how much you're warned, you've got a subconscious. Oh, come on, how bad could it be? And then you are looking at your face on the ground, going, "Wait a minute, that's supposed to be on my head."
Yeah. It might depend on where you get the otter. I still think on land you're screwed, but if it's in the water, game over.
Yeah, no question about it. This is food for thought. What's the biggest animal? What's the largest animal you're pretty sure you can take if need be in a pinch, life or death? This is something to think about. Let's go there. The Facebook page, KQRS, it's up. Let's get some answers. I'm curious just how deluded we all are about our own strength.
Maybe a redhead.
Yeah, this is gonna really appeal to the certain subsect of society who thinks they can land a plane if need be. Let's see what we got. Hit us up on Facebook. I'm not the guy who says I can land a jet plane if I need to. I'm not the guy who says I can drive a car through a loop-de-loop if I need to. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna jump a school bus on a motorcycle, and I'm not gonna fight a mountain lion. I did, however, say, pretty confident I could take down a raccoon if need be. Like a matter of life or death, I'll take it. I'll take a raccoon on. When I said that, Ryder snorted, coughed, and laughed all at once in response. And then Zeb told me, no, you couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, those things, by the way, have some pretty awesome choppers. I mean, they're big, spiky teeth, and they have that wild animal strength. We talk about old man strength. That's nothing compared to wild animal strength.
Nope.
They, per pound, it's there's a lot of fight in a raccoon. And,
sure.
I mean, you get one in your hands. You try to, I remember my brother live trapping one, and we just tried to get it out of there. We were just trying to get it out of the trap, and it just about killed both of us. So,
the animal kingdom.
Raccoon, I think.
The animal kingdom they don't have moments of their life in air conditioning, and they don't make instant mac and cheese. It's a very difficult, different way to work through the planet, to work through life. So they're ready at a moment's notice.
Nope.
So I'm still okay. I take you at your word. I value your opinion, but I'm still feeling kind of confident about this raccoon. On the KQRS Facebook page, we did ask, what's the biggest animal you could kill with your bare hands? I've just got one I've got to come right to. Mark wrote, I'm a retired MMA professional, and I could probably take down a horse.
I love that one.
That is incredible.
Yeah, that is. We'd love to watch that happen, by the way.
Mark is the guy who would land a plane on his way to taking down the horse.
Yes.
Does anyone know how to fly a plane? No, but I'm a retired MMA professional, and I'd like to take a shot at that.
It'd be kind of like those rodeo guys when they rope the calves, on the horse. He would bring the plane in, jump out of the plane onto the horse, and just put it down.
Really, really, really good. Well, a lot of people commenting. I mean, we've got like triple-digit comments. A lot of people saying, "Probably, I can't even handle a mosquito. Why do you ask me to handle something larger?" That makes perfect sense.
The trouser snake. That's funny. John, I just want to say this out loud. I don't know what it is, but it's fun. Saber-toothed crotch cricket. Anyone? Right? Say it out loud.
Wow, saber-toothed crotch cricket. Okay, all right. I like David wrote he could take down Officer Doherty of the Minneapolis Police Department. Is that an actual person we know?
I don't know. Oh, there's Doug with a little kitty. Yeah, maybe a kitty, especially before they open their eyes. A blue whale.
Okay, Chris wrote an alligator. I have seen people say the key to the alligator is don't let him open his mouth. Once he opens it, he'll snap it down. But apparently, like the down snap is all the strength, but getting an alligator's mouth open, they don't have really strong opening muscles.
No.
So if you get there first, you can wrap up an alligator's snout and he won't be able to open it. I'm not going to put that to the test.
No, my brother did, though. He held an alligator's mouth closed.
Really?
We were at Alligator, what's it called? Alligator out in the Black Hills. Reptile Gardens.
Reptile Gardens.
Yeah, Reptile Gardens.
Yeah, is like a petting zoo area there?
Yeah, well, they have the little guy that gets out there and wrestles with them or whatever. He does, the whole thing, gets out there and messes around.
Kids.
Yeah, and he invited Chris, can I get a volunteer? And all of our arms shot up in the air. But he picked Chris, and Chris went out there and he had him hold the mouth closed. And and Mom and Dad didn't think anything of it. Like, oh, hold that alligator's mouth closed, Chris. And
wow.
Yeah, he let you do it. And
wait, what? Tell me what this place is called again.
Reptile Gardens. It's it's like Bear Country, USA. It's one of these little roadside stops out in the Black Hills.
Not far from Wall Drug, right?
That's right. Yeah, just when you're rolling around into the Rapid City area there.
Yeah, I'm checking it out. Reptile Gardens. That's pretty strong. There was there's a House of Blues in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina that I've played shows at several times. And if you walk out of the dressing room, there's like a little side porch balcony area, and it overlooks like the alligator park of Myrtle Beach. And so when you're backstage at this venue, you just sit there and watch hundreds of alligators in a lagoon swimming around, just staring up at you like, your band sucks, man. You can just see those alligators on there like, overblown. You guys think you're something. Bring that down here, dude. And they're just like challenging you to go closer. Yeah, it always really unsettling. I'm not a fan of reptiles on any level. There's not a reptile on Earth that I'm going to be like, oh, let me see him. I just see black eyes, and I think there's no relating to this. I'd rather take my chances with like a jaguar than an alligator. That's just me.
Yeah, no, an alligator on land, or a jaguar in the water.
I don't know about that, man. I've gone down some rabbit holes. I've seen jaguars and crocodiles fighting in the Amazon, I think, or somewhere. I don't know. 651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talking text line. We've got some texts. We've also got, I believe, a call right now. Who's on the horn?
Mike from Minneapolis has his tale of man versus beast.
Oh, Mike, lay it on us, brother. What do you got?
Well, we found a big old buck laying on the side of the road with a roadkill, and so my dad tells me, "Oh, go grab it." So I go grab it off the road, and I pulled once, and when I pulled again, the son of a bitch stood up next to me. All the others knocked out.
Wow.
So it tried to stab me the first time. It no! I had a hold of horns, so I kept it off me. But then it started jumping up and down and kicking me, and I'm in peril. I mean, this thing was big, and I was holding on for dear life, and thank God my dad came out of the truck, and he used to sell knives, so he came out and he handed me a fillet knife, and I wound up getting it through the throat that way and riding it down. But I was in peril. I was definitely for dear life.
Man, the big difference between roadkill and road hurt.
Yeah, no, dear. I mean,
I definitely got lucky on that one.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, no kidding. I had one charge me one time when I was out hunting. Got my rifle up in the rack, locked with the rifle a little bit there. I probably would have had a little puncture wound.
Yeah, that would have been rough. Thank you for the call, man. That's a terrifying story.
The horns aren't for decoration.
No, they're not. Yeah, Tommy Boy. We all remember the scene in Tommy Boy when the deer wakes up.
It's a roaring deer.
Yeah.
It did. The deer yelled, too.
Mike went to see that film, and everyone's laughing, and he's just sitting there quietly like, it's not funny.
He had to walk out of the theater.
I was on a golf course in Pennsylvania years ago on the road with my cousin who was on the road with my band. And I'm at a tee box. It's just the two of us. And I'm standing over my ball. I'm about to hit. And he just goes, "Hey, Beaver, which was my family childhood nickname was Beaver. And I looked at him, I go, dude, I'm about to hit. He goes, yeah. And I looked down at the ball again. He goes, hey, Beaver. And I look at him, I go, what? He goes, I'm not talking to you. And I turn, and 2 feet behind me on the tee box is a very large beaver. Great. He's just standing there looking at me like, what are you doing with that stick in your hand, man? And it freaked me out to see a beaver that close. And he had just slowly walked up behind me like, no fear whatsoever. And I thought then, like, yeah, you get a look at those choppers on a beaver, and you're like, yeah, that guy, he's bringing down trees. My legs don't stand a chance.
You ever see a beaver take down a tree?
Not in person, no.
Yeah, I watched one on the bank. First of all, I thought someone had some sort of, not a wood chipper, and it wasn't a chainsaw kind of sound, but I thought that sounds like some sort of electric power tool. And I'm walking along the river. This is out in Montana. And I come around the corner, and it's a beaver working on a tree. And I'm like, oh, my God, look at that son of a gun go. I'd never actually watched one, so I just sat there and watched it. Knocked down a tree that was probably, I'm going to say, in diameter, maybe 6 inches. Not very big. But he took that sucker down in 1,001, 1,002, 1,005, maybe. Wow. The entire thing. And I watched him take down 3 trees right there. And, they are, that's their thing, man.
They look at you like you dropped the mic.
Yeah,
so that's how it's done.
That's how it's done, right. It's, no kidding.
Awesome.
Nature.
Go ahead, Brian. Get your axe out and show me how it's done.
Have you ever tried that? So I've been out camping, and of course I've got my hatchet, I'm going camping. I need a hatchet. Somebody say, hey, I go knock down a tree that's like 1 inch in diameter, and I'm just out there hacking away for 15 minutes going,
oh, man.
I thought these things would I thought like a ninja. I would just knock it down. But no, those beavers are built to cut down trees.
I had a school excursion to a state park in Kentucky in middle school, and one of the things you could do is kayak to a beaver dam, and I was like, hell yeah, let's go. Ooh. And we kayaked across this lake, and we came to a beaver dam or a beaver den, where they all lived. Their spread was enormous. It's I remember thinking, I had one friend whose dad was really into model trains, and so his entire basement was like a city, the train town, he just collected, every buildings and cars, like that train set. When adults get into model trains, they go berserk with it. And that's the first thing I thought of, because I was like, these beavers, it was like a split-level, mid-century. Looked like the Brady Bunch house these things were living in. I was like, holy crap, you guys are the Beaver Den is a real hang. Yeah. They had beanbag chairs and lava lamp. No, well, not really. But, the Beavers version. It was incredible. And they're just bouncing around. We got close enough where they weren't afraid of the kayaks. We weren't right up upon it, but we were 20, 30 feet away, and you're just watching them all jump in the water, get back out, go into the building, come out, moving branches. It was incredible. And at no point did I ever think I could take down one of those beavers. They just, the whole time, I'm like, no, I'm not about to get my hands on one of those.
No, man, they get a chopper, and you're busy as a beaver, right? That's their thing.
I saw a photograph yesterday, or I'm sorry, it's a painting, but it was taken from a real thing. It was just down a rabbit hole. And I forgot about this until right now, but it was a guy boxing a kangaroo from 100 years ago in Australia.
Is that a Bugs Bunny cartoon?
No, it was a real thing. It was like a sideshow vibe on some weird traveling circus. And the kangaroo and the guy were both wearing boxing gloves. It was like a real thing. And I thought about that because you occasionally will see people reference, kangaroo fights. But there's that video last year, a kangaroo got a hold of a dude's dog, and he ran to free it, and the kangaroo rears back up. He's 6 feet tall, standing eye to eye with a dude, and they both just put up your dukes. It's a weird thing. It's got to be weird to approach a wild animal and you put your fists up, and then it does the exact same thing right back to you.
Counters.
Oh, we're going to do this? We're going to fight like it's the 1920s? Let's go.
Jab, hands up. Yeah.
Yeah, the kangaroos are they are not toys. Let me tell you, I was at a kangaroo ranch one time, and you feed the little ones, and then there was one in the distance, and he looked really big, and I said to the guy, "What's going on with that kangaroo?" And he goes, "Well, you got to stay away from the reds. There's some that are like red color," and he goes, "The reds they're tempestuous, mate. You never know what they're going to think. And he goes, there's a couple of 7-footers out there. They'll rip you right. Now they'll cut you with that middle claw right across the middle. Your guts will spill out. I'm like, wait, I'm sorry, what? And he goes, they won't come close. But I said, wait, are you, there's no way there's a 7-foot tall kangaroo. And he goes, oh, out in the wild, the reds will get to 7 feet, but they got that one claw. And he said, literally, he goes, there's stories of them disemboweling people with one swipe.
That's a velociraptor in Jurassic Park.
Right.
Yeah. They
what that is.
That's right. They still exist. Go to screw dinosaur DNA. They still got dinosaurs. They're called kangaroos.
Yeah, right.
Just go to Australia, man. The KQ Talking text line, a text came in. I got a buddy who tackled a deer that had crashed into the Stout Ale House Bar and Restaurant in Menominee. How do you say that?
Menominee.
Yeah.
Menominee.
Yep. Sounds like a dang American hero here.
This was during a Milwaukee Bucks playoff game. The deer actually crashed through the front door. One of the deer ran into a room adjacent to the bar area. Dan, my buddy, cornered it and tackled it, a small to medium-sized doe. He and the manager then carried it outside and released it. Wow.
That's impressive. I mean, even a small doe, they put up quite a fight. But I would think that's drunk power, too. You get some drunk power. You just don't know any better.
That's true. Yeah, you got old man energy, you got wild animal energy. Don't overlook drunk power.
It's the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS. The best of the KQ Morning Show on 92 KQRS.
We shared a story with you a few months ago about an attorney in Ohio, a gentleman by the name of Jack Blakesley in Noble County. This man has been an attorney since 1976. This man has never had a disciplinary report on his record until the end of 2021 when surveillance cameras recorded this gentleman. Now, again, he's a criminal defense attorney. He dropped a Pringles potato can into the parking lot of a crime victim advocacy center.
Okay.
So you've got a crime victim advocacy center, some people doing the Lord's work in there trying to help people. This dude drops a Pringles can in the parking lot and keeps on moving. Somebody walked out and saw the Pringles can and picked it up and opened it, and in that can was human feces. He was called in and questioned. His behavior was brought up. The question is this guy even fit to practice law? The Ohio State Supreme Court reviewed this, guys. It went all the way to the top of the state. During the disciplinary process, this gentleman claimed, look, I didn't target anyone, and I've pulled that prank at least 10 times this year.
That's my thing.
It never gets old.
No, it's great. Like, do you know how hard it is to poop into a Pringles can? The opening's not that big.
What happened to the little exploding snakes that pop out?
Well, that's
it's a little prank, but
that is getting old. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Where you kind of flinch and like, oh, it wasn't one of those snakes that pops out. It was a snake that's laying in there. It's hilarious. I love it.
He said he had known the victim advocates at that center for years. I've known these people for years. And by the way, he dropped that Pringles can 15 minutes before he was scheduled to see them in court. At the time, he was representing someone accused in a capital murder case. So that tells me he's on the other side of the aisle in the courtroom from the victims advocacy center. So 15 minutes before I'm going to go represent a guy who's been accused of capital murder, I'm dropping a deuce in a can in your parking lot.
Yeah. What is that whole victim advocacy thing?
I think it's someone who's been the victim of a crime.
Yeah.
Like a domestic abuse. There's centers for women to go when they have nowhere else to go. You're looking after. It's a place that I would imagine in this case a victim of any sort of crime that needs help from you need something. You don't have any resources. You are kind of alone out there.
Yeah.
Well, that's what one might call it.
Yeah. All right, so...
Do you have a problem with victim advocacy centers?
I don't know. I just don't have a problem with a guy pooping in a Pringles can and throwing it in a parking lot. Is that against the law?
Do you want your attorney to do that? Do you feel good about walking into a courtroom?
Would you look at him a little differently if you found out
in a heartbeat?
What if it's your granddad? The guy's been a lawyer for 50 years. He's probably got grandchildren. They're like, daughter's a sophomore at Ohio State. His granddaughter is like, hey, how you doing? What are you? You're a history major?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, good to meet you. Is your granddad the guy that craps in Pringles cans? I mean, that's going to stain the family name. I'm just saying, that'd be a weird one. All I know is this. At a certain age, which is every day I've ever been alive, if I knew somebody whose family member was crapping in Pringles cans, I'd never let him forget it.
No, of course not.
Just what that is.
No, I think you're looking for the attention, aren't you?
I think that's a nickname waiting to happen. You're just going to be Pringle for the rest of your life.
Yeah, or just Chip.
Just Chip. Could be Chip.
That's not bad. Pringle or Chip. I've been called worse just this week.
Is there anything you want to share with us?
Well, not really.
Okay. Wow, man.
The best of the KQ Morning Show on 92 KQRS.
Genetic lottery win you may have is that you're good with lactose. You have no problem with dairy products. My son Connell, early on, we realized like milk just tears him apart. Cheese, he had to drink Lactaid with his cereal as a kid. It was just one of those things.
Oh, you're talking about the genetic? Yeah, no, I'm the bad tummy.
Yeah,
Big
the bad
genetic deficiency for me. Yeah.
How does cheese work for you?
Cheese, okay. Like I can do aged cheddars, hard cheeses. The softer the cheese, the quicker she moves through.
Well, check this out. There's a new study out of China that says the single most important contributor to healthy aging and longevity is mental well-being. That makes sense. But second on the list, cheese consumption. I don't associate cheese with Chinese food.
No,
I'm not
at all.
suggesting I'm an expert. I have a limited. I just know what I eat at Chinese restaurants.
Could you hit my lo mein with some more Parmesan,
yeah,
please?
I even said that. Ouch.
A nice mozzarella on my, Kung Pao.
The logic is this: to live longer, you need a happy mental well-being, and those who reported the most robust levels of mental health and stress resilience ate more than the average amount of cheese and fruit.
That's it? That's how we connected those two dots?
That's how I connected it. So I'm just looking at that going, just eat more cheese, man.
I feel like they kind of gave up early on that study. Like
Probably.
It was a Friday and they wanted to dip out early or something. And they went, wait a minute, what are we looking at here? These people like cheese and they live they've got a mental well-being that's on the positive side. That's it, cheese.
Well, and again, I don't like to assume much, but like I said, my limited understanding of Chinese cuisine is there's not much cheese. So any amount of cheese in China,
what is a Chinese cheese?
Yeah, any Asian food, you don't think about there being cheese.
No, not at all.
Occasionally you'll get the wonton, the cream cheese wonton.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's an Americanized.
I was going to say, I feel like that was
something tells me that
cooked up in San Francisco or something back in the day.
I've got it's funny because I've got some. I don't have a legitimately bad tum. I don't have a sensitive stomach.
Yeah.
Or at least I just didn't know that's what it was. I look back now and I realize like I grew up in a house where we drank milk nonstop. And there's 8 of us, and 3 over the years, 3 of us realized like, yeah, my stomach was just always torn apart. Like no one ever said try water. Like we just, he's just a little loose sometimes. You're like, my brother Jim. It's like his whole life, and then one day finally, like in his 30s, the doctor goes, "You can't handle milk." He's like, "Oh, that's why." Oh crap! Too bad.
What do they say? Like 1 in 5 people are lactose intolerant. So they're not alone. But
that checks out.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but I don't think those are directly connected to cheese. Excuse me. Just talking about cheese.
Come on, man. I do know people. And the other thing, too, I don't have a sweet tooth. If we want to go back to the genetic lottery, very happy not to have that.
Salt tooth.
Because I have a salt tooth, which is hardly ideal. But I have known in my life several legitimate chocolate addicts, people who it's very, very like they're just going to eat chocolate every single day, and if they don't, there's a problem.
I mean, I'm borderline.
That's a wild one, really.
My dad was
I'm
like that. We called him
abuser.
Candy Man, actually.
Yeah,
Milk chocolate or dark chocolate?
To everything, anything sugary.
Just chocolate.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he'd always have a bag of candy in his briefcase. And he got yelled at by my mom one time when he came home, and he kind of tripped, and his briefcase opened up, and peanut M&Ms came spilling out.
Oh, my God, that is so
Just
great.
the look of humiliation on his face. He was suddenly a 5-year-old.
Is he scrambling around gathering up the peanuts like it's cocaine or something like that? I have a problem, okay? Don't look at me.
Right.
Don't look at me.
Every story about your pop is better than the one before.
I know.
I just want to give him such a hug at all times.
I want to hang out with him.
Man, and I mean, like, that's so funny. It's so. My dad was the guy who thought pizza was kids' food. Like, I don't eat pizza. That's for children. Your dad's got peanut M&Ms in his briefcase.
Right. Yep. He's the candy man.
If one of us, my dad also carried a briefcase to work every morning. If one of us had slid a piece of candy in there, I mean, that would have been like the first steps of a revolution. Like, you know, I would have been like Robespierre if that had happened. You know, I'm trying to overthrow the monarchy or whatever the hell that means. And your dad's walking around with peanut M&Ms in the briefcase. That's outstanding.
Yeah.
Way more fun with your dad than mine. I guarantee you that much.
Get the KQ Morning Show podcast wherever you listen. 92 KQRS.